All right. Well, this has been very informative. It's good so far. Good to hear that you're able to at least help your students along the way with some of their university, their ideas, their essays and stuff, and then also their pronunciation. I know for this course that I'm working on right now, it's a big component where we have to deal with phonology and dealing with intonation, stress. I guess the only other question I would have is do you ever use the phonemic chart?
And I was going to ask you something about this also. In the United States, growing up, I had classmates who were from other countries, and I had friends from other countries in elementary school and in high school, and I saw some of the material that they use. And for example, if you look at the back of an American English dictionary printed in America, you're not going to find the phonemic table at all. It will give you other things, and if you already know how to make that sound, then you correctly, then that's how you use it. And that's it. And similarly, in public schools, you will see the same kind of thing. In private language schools, I saw that table. The table, from my point of view, I understand why people like to use it and rely on it. But what I found was if they do that, if that's how they're introduced to speaking English, then they don't learn they don't develop skills about how to guess until they are maybe advanced students. Whereas if you don't provide it to them from the beginning, they pay more attention to look for patterns. It's not perfect. And as I explain to my students, when I come across a new word, because English takes words from so many different languages, but even if it's a native English word, whatever that might mean,
Yeah, what is a native English word?
I I may get it wrong, and I'll need to listen to someone say it, or look, I'll need to find somebody to say it to me.
Yeah. I know that with my studies here, the phonemic chart, they do promote us using it. Uh, not actually, not so much using it in a classroom situation, but understanding it and understanding how to implement it. So if a student is having trouble, and this is probably more for lower level students, but also if you ever use a dictionary with higher level students, pointing out the phonemic transcription of the word is sometimes helpful just to give them just a little bit more uh, help in figuring out the pronunciation and then making sure that they can take that phonemic, that sound, and connecting it with other phonemes or other sounds that they've heard before that they're familiar with. And then that way it's not so strange because in English, you know, a word like enough, Enough,
Oh,
right?
yes,
But then you transcribe it using the phonemic chart, and all of a sudden they get it. The issue then becomes like, is the GH always an F, or is it not?
right.
So is it ever not an F? Good question. I've
Well, I
never thought of that.
remember, isn't OUGH? I think I saw memes or something about this where there's 5 or 10 different ways, depending on the word, to pronounce those letters.
And also, I'm thinking actually some Australian words and like slew, slew,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So there, sorry, that's not Australian, but that's an example of a word
Right.
that's using GH in a different format. So, which is where the phonetic chart, I don't know, would that help there? Phonemic chart, would that
And
help it
read
at
it,
all?
yes. Yes.
All right, well, good. I think we will end it there. I know you're busy and you've got your whole afternoon ahead of you, but I've got to get back to my studies as well. All right,
Sure.
thanks, Denny. I appreciate it. We'll talk again.
Sure. See you later, Steve.